can't guarantee 100% we're going to get the grant, but talking to a few people this afternoon on the phone that this will even be reimbursed with grant money.
So it'll be
no out of pocket.
30 million plus 26,000. I'm just.
We've got a meeting with the player. I have a meeting in the morning with some of the players, and then on the 19th I have another meeting with the hazard mitigation grant people who are really lobbying for us in Tallahassee with other agencies, with Commerce, DEP, and Resilience.
So that's 20. We don't know how grants will go.
No, we don't.
That's kind of looking in the future, but we still have the 26,000. We have, well, if we want the 30 million, we have to pay the 26,000 to get it done, whether or not. But again, here we are spending money, but.
All right, is there any further discussion on this agenda item? All right, hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution 2025-25 is approved. Agenda item J, please.
City Council Ordinance number 1534, an ordinance of the City of Live Oak, Florida, amending the code of the City of Live Oak, Florida to provide for lien amnesty and forgiveness of fines and liens associated with code enforcement proceedings, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. And we need at this point open it up for the public hearing.
All right, so at this point we will open up the floor to public hearing on agenda item J, ordinance 1534. If anybody from the public would like to speak, now would be your opportunity. Seeing and hearing none, we'll close that portion and move on to pleasure of the council.
I make a motion that we discuss what possible council action for the final reading of ordinance 1534.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call this one, please.
Offer, yes.
Robinson, yes.
And Campbell, yes. Final reading of ordinance 1534 is approved. All right, we'll move on now to agenda item K. Had a couple of individuals, Wayne, Annika, and David, that are signed up to speak under the this item. This is one that's going to go to public comments as well, so during that time will be the time for you to address.
Ordinance number 1535, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, related to powers of local authorities, speed detection system placement and installation, school crossing guard recruitment and retention program, speed detection systems in school zones, speed detection systems, penalties, driver's license points, providing for the repeal of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And open your public hearing.
All right, this will be the opportunity for the public to speak. I know there's two individuals signed up, and anybody's able to speak about this public hearing. Let's start off with Mr. Hampton. Would you please state your name for the record?
Wayne Hannaford, representing concerned citizens of North Florida. First of all, Mr. Alford, thank you. I'm glad that someone's concerned about our students and our children and bringing this forward. But I realize that our city police department is limited with resources. However, there are many resources that could help us understand, even if we have a speeding issue in school zones, because I don't think we really know that. The county does have a piece of equipment that flashes and shows you your speed, and it records the speeds. so you would know whether or not we really have an issue. I'm sure if we contacted the sheriff's department, they would supply that to us. And if we do have an issue, then that tells me that we're not enforcing our laws. That, again, I realize the city police department can only do what they can do with the resources they have. But we do have the sheriff's department. The majority of the students that go to the schools are probably from the county, so I'm sure they'd be willing to help. And then if you really want to, you could go to the Florida Patrol, state troopers. They love to give tickets. So I just think we're approaching this in the wrong direction. I don't want to see us help a company come here and make money off our citizens. I'm more interested in seeing what we can do to help our students. I know the one student that was hit in the school zone a few weeks ago, about a month ago. It was reported that that woman was on her phone. So cameras aren't going to help you with somebody that's on their phone. They're going to help you with speed. But I really think we just need to do more. We need to be standing out there with a radar gun. That certainly usually deters people to slow down a little bit. And we just need to find out, do we really have an issue before we jump into a contract with somebody that we don't know. And that's all I have. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cheeman.
Council, thank you for having me. David Lokino with Blue Line Solutions. For the constituents and for the citizens of Live Oak, how this transpired was, at the request of Chief Davis over the last couple of months, we came in and we did speed studies on board your schools. In a 1-week period of 5 days, we had 4,400 people that were speeding 11 miles an hour over your schools. So we brought the data to Chief Davis and to the council, and give you guys an idea of how this works. And we're a company that started 15 years ago. I just finished 19 years in law enforcement, retired in January. Our company was started by a retired deputy chief who was big into traffic and saw way too many traffic crashes and fatalities. As you know, Florida is the 3rd largest state when it comes down to traffic fatalities, with almost 3,500 people losing their lives in 1 year. So how our program differs from red light cameras and the whole money grab situation. Holmes Beach is one area that we're in. If you're familiar with Holmes Beach in Yancey County, what we do is we go and we do a site assessment for every school. We do speed studies to collect that data. From there, we use school portals, we use the police departments, the sheriff's office portals, we do flyers, we do whatever it is to do a public information awareness campaign. After that is a 30-day warning period, and then it takes 11 miles an hour over to go into the speed to receive a $100 citation. So from the start of the speed studies, before we even issue a citation, we see an 80% reduction rate. Now, where we differ from other companies, by doing a site assessment, like in Holmes Beach, we were able, with the approval of FDOT, extended the school zone 100 feet in each direction. Then we go in there, we do our signage, we do our speed enforcement camera signs, and then you will have a speed feedback signage, and then you'll have flashing lights, they turn school zone, and then our camera system. And that's why it's not a money grab. We are working with Blue Line Solutions. We understand how it's come across before, especially with red light cameras. It was a good idea, but it didn't necessarily stop accidents. It just created different ones. Instead of people T-boning one another, now we're running each other. Here, with the state law, the House Bill 657 is basically stating that we understand that we need to do something, and that law enforcement is so thin at least at one time, we can't have necessarily somebody out there in all these school zones. Talking to Chief Davis, he only has 3 officers on per shift. Well, if you have 5, 6, 7 schools, how would you dictate which school gets an officer to on radar? So that's where we come into play to assist in giving you guys a solution. The other alternative, put speed humps maybe inside the school zone. Well, unfortunately, we just had some in my HOA area, where I live, that it's $18,000 to put in some of those speed humps. And then you have the issues of people saying that their cars are being destroyed, that they're being damaged. So again, what we do as a company is that we come in, we do site assessments, we work with everybody inside the community. Your constituents, the citizens of Live Oak, will know you're in a school zone by what we do. And then the 6 to 10% after that, there needs to be enforcement for people that, I'm sorry, that are just in disregard of other people on the roadways.
Thank you, Mr. Aquino.
Are we allowed to ask questions or no?
No.
Of him, of
No.
not y'all, of him.
No, ma'am, not during this time. You can off anytime.
Yeah, I'll be happy to stick around. and
Are you gonna
answer
vote on
questions.
something based on that tonight? Like, I
There
feel
is a
like
vote
there
that's
should be
gonna
open
happen.
discussion about it, right?
This is public speaking time. You can come back up.
Okay, well, we'll let Adam go.
Yeah, use that.
I
Thank
wanted to
you.
go there too.
I really need one.
State your name, sir.
My name's Adam Collins. I live on 206 Duval Street Northwest. And yeah, I'm against this. And anybody in their right mind should be. You want camera, hey, listen, I'm in that school zone every single morning. And I see police cars and I see people going slow. Now, I understand some people look at their phones, some people speed. But I mean, what I did when I saw a problem, there was the crossing guard going into the middle school off of the Silas Oaks. And I called the maintenance guy. I know him personally. I said, hey, this guy's not letting enough cars in. They're backing up and people are going around and creating a traffic hazard. Fix it one day. So I don't think we need to pay somebody to watch us. I don't want cameras watching me. The traffic cameras in Tallahassee were so bad, and it created so many problems. So I think we can figure it out as a community. We don't need somebody to come here and pay them to watch us. I think it's ridiculous. We don't want more government. We want less government. All I've heard tonight is more and more government, more and more things to do. How about get Doge in here? Let's get it efficient. Because honestly, AI answers not phones. You don't even need people to answer phones. No offense to secretaries answering phones, but this is my money too. This is y'all's money. I pay lots of property taxes, more than the services I want, especially, how much I got left? All right, water. A couple years ago, I got a $2,000 water bill because the toilet was running.
If you
So I
can,
turned off.
we'll have to keep it on topic because it's an agenda.
Okay, agenda item. So cameras, no. If y'all vote for this, I don't remember who did, and you got an advocate or a opponent. Not an advocate, opponent.
All right, thank you. Anybody else that cares to speak at this time?
I'll just say,
Abel?
you didn't speak about,
If you
like,
would please introduce.
January Jernigan, 14319 Main Street. You didn't speak about data breaches and privacy concerns, and you may have some information about that, but you're a private entity, you store camera data, your company has technologies that are beyond what you're proposing here, thermal technologies and other AI technologies that could be, once we say yes to one thing, it's like a slippery slope. And I'll, if you want to speak again to that, fine. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't think we have time to talk about that involve our privacy and involve, like Adam said, we don't want people watching us. It's not that we're doing anything wrong. You did notice, your company noticed, I don't even know that, I guess you had the permission to take that data and record the data and the speeds. We didn't know that was happening as private citizens. We want to know what's going on. I love the thought. I love the idea of, yeah, we're going to stop all this, speeding and speed zones. But agree with Adam that there are other ways that we could try first, because I just feel like it's just an invasion of privacy. And again, gave you a whole list I don't want to go back through, but the data breaches that we experience and the hacking that we experience, this happens. We're just talking about losing $500,000, and I don't trust any company to give me 100% confidence that somebody's not going to get, along with my name, social security number, date of birth. Now they have my tag number and where I go and where I drive my car. So those are things that I really do think are big problems.
All right, any more concerns? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing section now, and then we can yield to you, Mr. Mayor.
I just had a couple of comments. As I had stated last time, whether you're for or against it, my concern is,
I don't know that you have listened to other, or had the opportunity to listen to other alternatives. You did have a workshop. The only persons here were Mr. David and his company, which is fine. I think they're fine people and they're trying to do a good job. But you really didn't hear from anyone else. You haven't, I don't think, heard what the downsides may be. I do think you're going to get a lot of calls if this is implemented, good or bad, right or wrong. I just think that I'd like to see you give some more thought before you do this. A couple of things that I'll question within the ordinance. I'm not clear whether it does state on page 3, section 2, that the speed, I'm not sure if it says that it will be done or it may be done 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after the end of a regularly scheduled school session. Does that mean that 129 is going to be at 20 miles per hour all day long, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after? I'm not clear if that's the case. I mean, it is.
I can help you, I think, Eric. That is language taken out of the statute. And so, if you pass the ordinance, and understand too, for clarification, you're not passing the ordinance and awarding the bid to the company. You're authorizing the implementation of this. It would then have to go out for an appropriate bid and analyze responses. But in response to your question is, and it would have to be posted that the speed would be X miles per hour, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. Any time outside of those time limits, it would revert to the regular posted speed limit for all the rest of the day.
But does this ordinance say that on 129, that the speed limit 30 minutes before school and 30 minutes after the school session will be 20 miles per hour? Every day, school's in session. If it does, I do think that's going to be an issue. You're on 129, and if this is for foot traffic, there is not a lot of foot traffic there on Highway 129. There's car traffic, and maybe this is to address car traffic too. That would be I think that would be a big issue to me. The other thing, would you evaluate the side roads that some of those have? You know, they have flashing lights that may or may not be, you know, close to the school district or to the school house. I think if whatever's done, you need to take a comprehensive look and see which roads should be, need to be, etc., and which roads should.
Can I say?
Those are my thoughts.
Can I
We'll
say?
have to wait until we have a motion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the pleasure of the council.
I'll make a motion for ordinance 1535.
All right, so a motion
In a second.
and a second. All right, now you may have discussion.
The 30 minutes, I'm thinking about, you got kids that are coming to school, so maybe that's where the 30 minutes is coming from. They're actually traveling to school, so you don't want them, say they got to cross the street, you don't want them to be, even though it's 30 minutes before school takes in, then.
But my point is that it's all day. Highway 129, 20 miles per hour all day.
No,
No,
it's
30
only
minutes
during those
before and
specified
30 minutes
times.
after.
What is the speed limit on 129 when there's not school in session?
35.
Probably.
Right, so it would revert to 35 miles an hour, except for the periods of time delineated within the ordinance. And,
It says during the entirety of a regularly scheduled school session.
right, so when it's 30 minutes before, if school starts at, pick a hypothetical.
8
If school starts at 8 o'clock, at elementary school, then this goes, the school zone speed limit would go into effect at 7:30,
7:30.
and it would end at 8:30 for the 20 mile an hour. Then it reverts to the posted speed limit on that road.
Well, number 3 says during the entirety of a regularly scheduled school session. So, I mean,
That's
maybe that.
Well, that's the part of it where the camera remains in effect during the school session for the 35 miles an hour. The 20 is only enforceable when the lights are flashing.
Sounds like we're gonna do a lot of skating.
Is that? Yes.
As you all already know my viewpoint on this, I've stated it at each reading and when it was first brought up. This is definitely something that I'm not in support of. The ones who spoke against it, I value your sentiments exactly of those things. Is that we are using this as revenue for, it's great to have, you know, that's my thing. I want revenue, but I don't want it this way. I don't want, this is the way we go about funding what we need for our city. And I just would say to the council, think about it, think about your constituents, think about even yourself when you're maybe driving through and it's not, everything is not clear. And you get, actually at the meeting that we were at this weekend, one guy told me he got four tickets. They have the system set up. He got 4 tickets before he even knew he had one. Just think about those things. I am definitely not in favor of us using this.
I would like to say that I would hope that the reasoning behind this is not necessarily 100% focused on revenue and focused mostly on safety. I think that was maybe the intent when it was brought to the table. Do I think that there are other ways that we can approach this issue? And for me, yes. I would say there are other ways we can approach it. If it were to come down to it and it becomes a huge issue, I think there's hopefully a way that Chief could maybe schedule overlap of officers and we could maybe approve some overtime or something so that there's extra officers in there in the school zones if it's only for 30 or 45 minutes a day. So I think that there are a lot of good things about this, and then there are a lot of negative things as well. So a lot to think about, and yeah, I do think there are other alternatives though out there that may be more warranted at this time. Because I worry too about the litigation down the road. I know when this all started with the traffic cameras, there was a law in effect that allowed them, and then just as you're hearing from some of these constituents today, enough people were able to get together and convince the lawmakers